Hello, it's Rich Rosen, founder and CEO of Fastcall, and I'm going to do the first of our installation setup videos. So I'm going to start here in the App Exchange. You can install Fastcall in a sandbox, in a dev org, or in production. You click Get It Now. In production, a credit card is required, but there is a 7-day trial by default. There's an unlimited trial in a sandbox, in a dev org. The setup steps are a little different in a sandbox, and we discussed that in our setup documents. Just a quick note, Fastcall cannot be installed in a free trial org of Salesforce. So you've installed the application and you've done that through the App Exchange. I'm not going to go through those particular steps because that's all managed by Salesforce. And once the application is installed, you're going to see here in the Salesforce application menu, Fastcall. And then once you are on the Fastcall application, you'll see Fastcall settings. And then once you're looking at the Fastcall settings, you will notice that there are user settings, which are here, and admin settings, and we're going to focus mostly on the admin settings, though I just will say that as part of your setup, there may be a few settings that you need to manage as a user. You are the admin installing the application from the App Exchange. Only an admin can install an application from the App Exchange, and during our initial setup as the admin, you might be adding some user settings for testing. You may be an admin that's not actually going to use Fastcall, so you'll be managing all your users as users, but during the initial setup, you have to think as both a user and an admin. And speaking of users, all of your users will be listed here in our user panel. Um, and this is where we're going to add users. And if there's a problem with the setup, you'll notice it here. Some subscription information is here. The version, it's all a link to your Salesforce App Exchange settings. When you are purchasing additional licenses, it's here. It's all, and we use Salesforce capabilities, which are all listed here, and they are dependent upon whether you're in the Sales Plus upgrade, as I am, or the base edition. But what I really want to focus on here is the basic call logging function. We want you to install the application, test logging a few calls, and we think that whole process will take about 15-20 minutes, which includes watching this video. So the application is installed. Automatically, the admin who installs the application is given a license, permission set, and a call center file. So without doing anything else, you should be able to see the Fastcall application, which uses Salesforce OpenCTI, in your left sidebar in Classic, which is probably where you'll test. You would also see this in Lightning, which does require some additional setup. We like to do the initial testing in Classic, and you could also be in Salesforce Console, which is the subject of another video. So we are going to test just in the call logger. So if you can see here, we're using the call logger. So we don't want you to connect Twilio yet. So Twilio is not connected. When you come into the settings icon, you're only going to see a call logger because that's all that's going to be available without connecting Twilio. But that's where we want you to be at this stage. We want you to come in, click a phone number, and we're going to start logging the call. We want you to test what happens when you log a call. So this is the Salesforce subject. These are my notes. We do give you the option to create a default subject. All this is very customizable, and we have some deep dive information on the specifics of how logging works, but we just want you to log a call for your initial testing. So I'm going to end the call. Call ends. I can continue my notes. More notes, and then I'm going to close the task. And then in my particular setup, I'm requiring a call result, and all this is going to happen later in your setup. And we have, again, some specific information on this. So I'll say busy, no answer. You'll see that the call is logged. The page does not refresh. The task is created, and really, hey, who's this guy? Hey, that's me. What you really want to see in the initial setup is, was the task created? You will see that the caller ID from, because of the way I have my page laid out, is, which we discussed later in the setup guide, says that I dialed manually because I'm just in the call logger mode. But this is what we want you to test. Can you log a call? If you can log a call and the application does not fail, 90% of your problems will be solved. We just want to know that we can create a task in Salesforce. If there is an issue, a conflict with a trigger, with some workflow, another application. We don't expect any of that, but if there were any potential issues, you should know within the first 15 or 20 minutes um, because the task won't be created. So I'll show you again. I've come in, I click the phone number, um, subject, notes, end the call, task. All this is very customizable, and we'll get to that later, but we just want to know that you can log a task. And once you've are able to log your task, then we're over that major hump. The other part that we're going to cover in this video is how to set up your page layouts, which are all done in Salesforce, and chances are you know how to do all of that already. But there is a related list, which is here. There's two ways to edit a page layout. I did it directly from the page layout. You could also do it from the setup menu. But for the related list, there is a call score object. Our call score object is giving you things like call count, calls in the last 12 months. This is all very customizable. Hit the wrench icon. I customize those columns, and you'll see for my org, I like call count, calls in the last 12 months, last 90 days, average call duration, total duration, days since last presentation, etc. This is a related list. The activity history is native in Salesforce, also can be customized. Um, some of this might be the same. So for example, call result is native, call duration in minutes is custom. Um, type is native, call to is the phone number that I dialed, that's custom, call from is the caller ID I used, notes is actually custom, and call recording. So you're going to customize what you want to see in that related list for activity history and call score, and you will do this for each object where you're going to be using Fastcall. So this is a lead, you might do it for accounts, contacts, could even be opportunities. So you're going to edit your page layouts. You're going to make a test call, log the call. So in the next videos, in the next part of the setup guide, we're going to talk about how Twilio is connected. I will just show that here in the setup menu, but I won't get into any of the details. So back in the setup, in the settings, we're going to spend this initial time, the call logger, call results, call subject, tasks, some widget settings around the user interface. Do I want to keep the notes open? Do I want to see the subject line? Some specific settings around tasks. So all this is around, everything in here is around the widget and the task creation. Call goals are that custom object that I mentioned, which we cover in some separate documentation, but you can enable that. It's an Apex job. So from there, then we go into things like provisioning phone numbers, managing dialing of outbound calls. Call initiation is the phones that I'm using for outbound calls, some recorded messages, some more advanced settings around inbound IVR, call transfer, our listen in function, call recording, sort of just going through all this, some settings around inbound calls. But down here, after we sort of go through all of that, the VoIP settings. The VoIP settings is where you're connecting Twilio. In order to dial an outbound call, to receive an inbound call, provision a phone number, record calls, do things like voicemail drop, all of our dialing features require Twilio. We're going to cover this in the next video, but this is the next thing that we're going to do. We want you to log the calls first, test out the basics, edit your page layouts, and then connect Twilio. Connecting Twilio to now test dialing an outbound call should take you another 10 or 15 minutes, maybe 20. Inbound can be more complicated to set up. You may need another 20, 40 minutes or a few hours, depending upon the complexity of your org. But you should have the basic testing done in 15, 20 minutes, connecting Twilio, testing an outbound call another 15, 20 minutes. So within an hour, you should be able to get through your basic setup and testing. And I did mention back up at the beginning, when you are ready to start adding users, you're going to do that here. You're going to add your users here in the user panel after you've purchased the licenses, and then to purchase the license, which you do first, you're going to do that. You're going to do that here. Okay, thank you very much for watching the demo. My name is Rich Rosen. I am the founder and CEO of Fastcall. Have a great day and good luck. Any additional questions, email us support@fastcall.com, of course. Bye.